I'm Jeremy Greenbaum. I'm from the Wix marketing team. Welcome to our webinar, the live Q&A for building and selling apps with blocks. So we're excited to introduce you to the world of Wix Studio, the web creation platform built for agencies and freelancers where you can deliver exceptional, high-quality sites in the most efficient way. This platform was designed with you in mind, covering the many layers of creating and managing multiple projects while maintaining quality. In a few moments, you'll meet our Wix Studio experts, the incredible Hannah Sinai, head of Wix Blocks, and Maor Yosef, Wix Blocks architect. But there are a few things I want to run through before jumping in. Many of you have already found the chat box feature, and this is a great way to interact with each other and share your thoughts as we go. But if you have any questions you want answered by Hannah or Maor, you'll want to use the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. So just make sure that you're typing the question into the Q&A box and not the chat box so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. Also, if you haven't already, please join our Wix Studio forum. We've got UX people, designers, product managers there that are actively answering questions, and there's lots of lively creation discussions and sharing, so we can share that link with you. Lastly, this session is being recorded and will be sent to you soon, so you can watch back to recap if you need. So enough talking for me. Let's welcome our experts, Hannah and Maor.
Hi, everyone. Super happy to be here with you. I'm Hannah.
Hey, I'm Maor.
So this is a follow-up session following the webinar we did on Wix Blocks. We're super excited to be here and discuss further this amazing product. The last session, we showed you all the abilities of Wix Blocks. As you know, this was recently launched exclusively for partners as part of the Wix Studio package. So basically, Wix Studio is now covering all sorts of advanced tools, allowing you to manage projects and introduce them to your clients as agencies. It supports scale, efficiency, and lots of pro tools that are packaged together with that. And Wix Blocks brings you a unique opportunity to actually package your projects in a way that you can reuse them across multiple sites. They could be any site that you're creating, so you're basically creating an application, a fully functional application that can be later on installed on Wix Studio sites and Editor X and the Wix editor. All of them, the application will be fully functional, set up with whatever installation and configuration that you'll be setting it to function. And it will be responsive according to your design and wired to the theme of the site. This is a game changer for you in the way that you can manage your projects for reuse and efficiency. And I think that the highlight of this feature is that basically up until now, anything you did on your client sites, you needed to go in as a collaborator or create the site and go in and change it on the site level. And here you're actually offered with a unique opportunity to package your applications, your creations, and sell them in that market. Yes, actually offer them to the entire user base of Wix, that any user can find your application and purchase it with the Wix app market and install it on their sites. That's a unique opportunity for you and a game changer in terms of your ability to create new revenue with no extra work on each one of your clients. We'll be super happy to take it now to the Q&A.
Great. So our first question is, as a freelancer, how can I use blocks as a creation tool in addition to website editors?
So as I mentioned, basically, any functionality that you can recognize as something common to sites that either repeats on your projects or you think that will come in need for other freelancers, for other agencies, or even for any user at Wix that's using Wix to create sites, you can create them as applications on blocks. Application can be combined with widgets. Widget is actually the UI part of the application. It could include code abilities, which is the business logic of the application. It could manage data and it could introduce the various settings and data management aspects of the application, either as experiences in the editor, the same way that your experience components and the applications that Wix are introducing you as panels and settings, APIs on the site level, or as dashboard pages, so that your sites will, your clients will be able to manage the application data and configure it from the dashboard. All of this outside of the scope of the editor when you're creating it, and then when your clients will be consuming it, it will be simply as simple as installing any other application from the app market.
Great. Next question. How can I grow my business using an app?
So I mentioned basically the ability to package projects. This is actually something that can change the way you work on your project. So if, again, you identify something repeating, you'll create it as an application. This will increase your efficiency and your velocity of creating projects. Also, once you're creating projects as applications on blocks, you're actually packaging them in a way that isolates your implementation, your logic from the site level. So when you're installing the application on a site, or your client is installing your application on a site, they're actually not exposed to the way that you implemented the application. That's a huge difference from the way you're currently creating custom implementation. Like now, all of your logic, code, integrations, everything is exposed on the site level, and you're mostly like, sometimes you can feel you're like losing your intellectual property, your edge on the way you're developing stuff. So here with blocks, once you're packaging it as an application, it's yours. It's isolated from the site. It's not exposed on the site level. So your clients are actually interacting with it as simply as in the level that you're allowing them to interact with it. They have no way to see the way that you implemented it. Beyond that, another business opportunity is actually doing revenue from the applications itself. I mentioned selling applications on the app market. Today, when you're doing projects, you're selling each one of your projects, right? So you need to, if you are selling the same implementation, you need to go again to each site that you're creating, copy-paste thing, implement it again, sometimes go and adjust it to the client's need. Here, it's basically just placing the application on the app market, and it sells itself, right? So if you're selecting an application that is high in demand, users that are searching the keywords that you're defining, the features that you're listing, will actually be exposed to your application. And once they install it, that's it. You're getting the revenue for this for selling this application. To mention, the first year of selling application is 100. The revenue is 100% yours. Only from the second year on, Wix is getting 20%, which is like not high as well, even for the upcoming years. And this is, as one of the partners mentioned it in one of the talks, is like making money while you sleep, right? So you're selling applications, you're selling your logic and your projects without really needing to contact your clients.
Next question. How can I get help with coding my widgets?
And so actually Blocks is using Velo for coding the custom logic of your app. Velo is the same as developing to your website. And it's actually pretty standard JavaScript with additional APIs that were exposed to allow you to interact with your app and different other services that you have on your app. In Blocks, you get additional APIs that allow you to interact with your widget. For example, on props change to get a callback when your properties are changing. Wix application that allows you to get some data for your application. So essentially, any partner or freelancer which is experienced with Velo, or actually everyone who's experienced with JavaScript, can operate on and start coding in blocks.
And if you don't have the expertise to code, basically you can collaborate with other freelancers and partners, right? So invite them to your project, work together, complete each other skills.
And how can I set the default behavior of my application?
Okay, so the default behavior of your application is actually what you're developing inside of blocks. So for example, you can define the properties that you have, and each one of the properties that you will define, you can set what is the default value. For here, it's a Boolean, so we said that it's true. We can also do it for text components. And of course, for each one of the elements themselves, the text components, the buttons, it's what you see, is what you get. You will set them, and the text that you'll set here, this will be the default value that your users get. You can define even more custom behavior with the configuration to set for each of the elements what can be selected and what can be customized. And furthermore, you can define installation settings. What will happen when the user will first install the application? So by going through to this menu, you will see that you can decide for each one of the widgets, so team members or team members card, to define if it will be added automatically, added on a new page. Will it be shown on the add panel? Which are the presets that it will be installed with? So you're getting a lot of customization abilities inside of blocks, in addition to the customization that your users can do afterwards.
And the next user has a question about coding within the app to get paid and then to check if the user has been paid.
Okay, great. So as I mentioned a bit earlier, you have an API to interact with your application. So for example, for getting paid. So let's take a look a bit about how the flow will look like. So first of all, you can go and define the different pricings that your app has. So for example, we set here a freemium model. So we'll have your free plan, and then we define a new plan which is called Gold. It costs $10 per month, and it will allow you to expose more abilities to the users. Say that when it's a Gold member, then you can support more team members or whatever you can think of. And the way for you to check it is by using the Wix application, and you can actually go to an article that will explain to you exactly how you can do that. So if you look for managing your app pricing, you'll see here an article setting up and managing your app's pricing, which will walk you through selecting the business model, adding your pricing plan, and eventually for the code itself. So as I said here, you can do import Wix application, and you're getting your app data, you're getting the app instance, which is a validated data that is signed, so people won't be able to forge it. And when you're getting from there, you can get the plan and write your logic accordingly to the plan that was purchased.
So just to inspire you a bit about what we see with this logic, we can see that like different applications are like showing and hiding functionality on the widget, right? Exposing different settings options in the panels. It could be different level of customization in the dashboard pages, all sorts of functionalities that can control the way that like the users will be exposed to your application functionality.
And can we control the customizations that users can do to our app?
Yes, we can select each one of the elements And first of all, through the configuration tab, vertical configuration tab, you can go and select each of the elements. First of all, decide if this element can be selected. And once you say that it's not selectable, the users, the consumers of your app will not be able to touch it at all. You can go and select on each of the elements which of the menu, the menu of the element can be visible. For example, for a text component, you say that I'm allowing it to edit, also edit the content and the styling, but I can also say that I want only to design the component, and that's it. Furthermore, you can hide sort of some of the elements between presets.
You can even create like panels that
create panels that will control properties that you set, and those properties will be linked to the elements themselves. So you'll be able to control the content through designated panels. You can also decide if some of the elements are essential, if they can be removed or not. With Blocks widgets, you're getting full control. The user's getting full control of the content of the widget, so they can decide that they want to remove this text element or this button. And for you, you can decide, no, this member name is crucial for the functionality, so you can decide that this element cannot be removed.
And then why can't users customize the widget's layout? Can we allow it?
So layout is a bit more complex because if we'll allow the user to change the layout, it can pretty fast get to conflict with what the app manager is doing. If, for example, is changing the width, and you also decide to redesign the container that is holding this widget, it's a bit more complex, and we want to give you a lot more control. So the first thing that you can do is, because you're able to create multiple presets, and in each of the presets, you can define different layout for your widget. So this is one solution for you to have customization for the layout. And we're also working on a feature that will be released in the future that will allow you to define on each of the elements which of the properties I want to be able to control, like the width, the margins, the paddings, and assign them to some variable, and then create panels that will allow your user to customize those variables and have a much more fine-grained customization of the layout.
And then, is it possible to share the link to the Blocks app to allow customers to install it without publishing in the app market? For example, leaving a link in a site and allowing visitors to click it and install the Blocks app for their site?
That's a great question. Actually, we get that a lot. Either that you want, to share the application in early stages, just to a couple of peers or QAs that will validate, or if you want to sell it privately, that's also something we hear a lot. And we're super happy to share that this is really coming soon. We're just finalizing a couple of last details, and this will be coming already in this queue. So stay tuned. You'll be able to share your applications with whoever you want without going to the app market.
That's exciting. You heard it here first, folks. Will there be a separate Blocks marketplace, or will they continue to be available through the regular app marketplace? Are there any differences we should know about getting approval from Blocks versus apps?
Okay, so that's basically, we feel that having multiple marketplaces at this point is not like what we would like to do. We would we don't feel that there's a motivation for you guys to be differentiated just because you built it on Blocks. Basically, the user that's consuming your application should not care how you build the application. It's like up to you to set the functionality and make sure the pricing fits the value of the application. So basically, for now, we're keeping it as a unified marketplace. We are looking into optimizing the publishing flow and the review process so that it will be more rapid and easier process for you guys. And basically, we can't wait to see how you're going to your applications. What are the applications that you'll be creating and submitting to the app market?
Definitely. I look forward to it also. Will there be more tutorials or sample block applications for us to dig into in the near future?
Definitely. This is something where we're deep diving into. Any ideas or directions that you would like to see, like what type of applications or what domains or areas that you wish us to go into in details, we'll be super happy to hear about it. We're also looking into creating together with the partners community more workshops, hands-on workshops, office hours, and any forum that will allow us to communicate, share best practices, and assist you with the creation process of applications.
Great. Is there anything else that is exciting that's coming down the pipeline that you want to share about blocks?
You wanna like anything specific? I think that like the main thing is that we're going to Wix is evolving as a whole. Okay, so you're starting to get lots of features and tools that are coming into the Wix Studio with more design freedom, flexibility, AI tools, management tools, pro development tools. We're looking into incorporating all of these tools also to blocks to see how this fits application creation. It's a slightly different challenge from creating websites, but we definitely see the value of bringing all of these things to blocks as well.
Great answer. So I think that's all the questions we have time for today. But as usual, if you have any more questions that you want answered, feel free to head on over to our library of content. That's going to be your best resource moving forward. So with our Wix Studio forum and Discord community, those links will be sent out to you. Of course, our academy is always there as a resource for you to get more information. Also, if you have any feedback, we're going to send a feedback form in the chat right now. But like I said before, this will be recorded and will be sent out shortly for you to review at your own leisure. Thank you so much, Hannah and Maor, for your knowledge and expertise. And thank you all for being a great crowd. We hope to see you all again at one of our future webinars. Thank you so much again, and see you soon.